2, 1. Oh boy, we got a lot to get to today. Not even going to do a bit.
It's a whole bag of it.
So,
whole bag of Tillamook all mixed up beef jerky.
We had 2 Nintendo Directs within the span of a week, both of them after our last episode. We thought there was only going to be one, and then they shadow announced a Nintendo Switch Direct the day after. So we got to do that one too. On March 27th, we had a Switch 1 Direct. This is only for Switch 1 games. And that one ran for about 35 minutes or so. So it was a pretty decent sized Direct. So for all of this, we are just going to do our usual smash, pass, or piss game. If you want to talk about it and have good things to say, smash. If you don't want to talk about it, pass. If you want to say bad things about it, say piss. Say your thing, and we're going to move on because there's a lot of announcements to get to. All of this list is via an article found on Tech Radar. So shout outs to Tech Radar for the list. And yeah, let's just jump right in. The first announcement is Dragon Quest 1 and 2 remake.
Smash.
There's no specific release date according to the actual Nintendo Direct. I don't know if that's updated, but
nope,
yeah,
that's the same.
Landon, how you feeling?
There's a new character.
There is a new character.
Yeah,
that was very interesting.
I mean, I want it. Give it to me. Announce the release date, Square Enix. Cowards.
Yeah, come on, Square Penis.
That too. Them too.
I'm glad that they're doing these two together as one package, because I mean, I feel like it'd be a very Square thing to not do that and then charge as much as possible for each individual one. So at least they
should individually be $60. So this collection should be $180 because there's also a new character.
The next game that was announced was called No Sleep for Kaname Date from AI The Somnium Files. It's a spin-off of the AI Somnium Files games, and it is done by the same team as the Zero Escape games, just to make sure that everybody knows what the hell that is.
Pass. Oh, wait. I haven't played the first two.
I didn't know that these were a thing, and then I had to look into it, and I was like, oh, the Zero Escape people. Okay, cool.
I only said Smash because I know the Zero Escape people. I've never played the first two either.
I think I own the first one.
We got Raidou Remastered, The Mystery of Solus Army, which is a remaster of Raidou Kuzunoha. I can't remember the original system this was on. I think it was PlayStation
2.
Yeah, it was an old game. So
seems pretty neat.
Yeah,
I'm looking it up.
It does look pretty good.
PlayStation 2.
It's it's an Atlas RPG.
Can't go wrong.
Exactly. So
I think it's the only thing is I think it's weird that they're not using the SMT moniker at all for the title.
True.
Yeah.
It is an SMT game. It's got
Jack at the very least, the original version I know had SMT just in there.
Oh,
which is odd.
I guess maybe they just didn't want to make the title of the game too long.
The original one was Devil Summoner Ryo Kuzunoha versus the Soulless Army.
Oh.
So you just throw in SMT Devil Summoner into that. And anyway, I'm excited for the game. I want it. Thanks.
All right. There is a game called Shadow Labyrinth, which is a Pac-Man inspired Castlevania kind of looking game, releasing on July 18th, 2025.
Pass. We've seen this a couple times, and
well, this wasn't the first time that they announced this. This was just
it still doesn't look interesting.
Yeah. I mean, it's whatever.
It's a weird take on Pac-Man.
This is probably one of the first big announcements of the Direct. We got the announcement.
Big announcement. We already talked about Dragon Quest.
What? Okay, true. But we already knew about Dragon Quest 1 and 2.
New character in Dragon Quest. Big announcement. Big announcement.
We got Patapon coming to Switch with Patapon 1+2 Replay.
Smash.
Apparently this is getting published by Bandai Namco. They are basically taking the stepping stone they had with like Freedom Wars and putting more stuff from Sony, I guess, on the Switch, which is interesting. It's coming to other platforms,
Bandai.
but yeah.
Hey, fucking Bandai, where's my physical release, you cowards?
We got
True.
Story of Seasons Grand Bazaar coming August 27th. Of course, it's on Switch. You got to have your farming sim game announcement somewhere in the direct. Apparently, there's a market for that. So, pass.
I mean, they got to corner that market somehow, but also pass.
Right. We got a trailer for Metroid Prime 4 Beyond. And they showed that Samus is going to get some like psychic abilities. It is still coming out this year, 2025. No specific release, but yeah. Smash.
I bet we'll have a direct in the like coming months, probably sometime after the Switch 2 comes out, that has a like we'll have a direct for like games coming out in the second half of the year, and Metroid Prime 4 will have a release date then.
Like end of June for not E3.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Probably something like that. We'll find out more definitely. Summer Game Fest.
Well, let's get it out of the way. Double Smash, because this game looks fucking awesome. I'm super excited.
I'm excited.
Now, we can talk about this game in detail now. We can talk about this game detail later. I'm willing to just move on and talk about it more.
We can talk about it more later because there's more info later. So,
but it looks so fucking good.
Oh yeah, it does. They also announced and came out later that day. You had Disney Villains Cursed Cafe. Sure, whatever. There's a new game from Chucklefish called Witchbrook coming holiday 2025.
It looks like it's from the same people that did Stardew.
Yeah, look, it's a pretty cute looking game.
So there you go.
There was The Eternal Life of Goldman. I honestly forgot about this one being in the direct. Not gonna lie, there was a lot of stuff that happened on the direct. I do vaguely remember this appearing, but it was kind of fast and didn't last long. So
let's just pass.
Yep. We got Gradius Origins, which is a collection of Gradius games, and it includes an all-new game called Salamander 3. So they made a new game for this. Smash. It's a pretty cool collection. It's got like 18 games on it across like different localizations and stuff, and we got a brand new game coming in there. Konami's been on fire with the collections lately. Like they've done
a really good job.
It's good because they're bad at everything else.
Well, maybe this can be like their stepping stone to getting back into good graces with the gaming community. We'll see.
Specifically, there is 7 different games.
Yeah.
I think but if you include the different versions,
right?
Because like some of the games have like 4 different versions for some of them, because you had different Japanese releases. But it's Gradius Salamander, Gradius 2, Gradius 3, Salamander 2, Life Force, and then Salamander 3, the new game.
Yep.
It is getting a physical release through Limited Run, so if you're interested, it's available now for pre-order.
Yep. We also got an announcement for a Switch port of Rift of the Necrodancer, which is crossover, and it also has a crossover with Celeste the Pizza Tower. It came out that day.
How long has this been out on other platforms?
It's been on Steam for a little bit. I don't remember how long.
Because I did not know it existed before this direct.
Yeah,
and I'm like, oh shit,
last year.
Yeah,
it came out last year.
Okay,
I knew there was some amount of time where it was already on Steam and it was coming to Switch because I saw it on Steam as well. It's doing like a sale. We got Tamagotchi Plaza coming June 27th. So if you want a nice cozy game with Tamagotchi, there you go.
Fucking smash that shit.
It's pretty cool.
I'm not going to talk about it.
You got like 12 it's like you're in like a charge of like a mall, and there's like 12 or so different storefronts that you can help manage. It's kind of cute.
Is this anything like the one that was on the Wii?
I don't know about the one on the Wii. I didn't know there was one on the Wii.
I own one that's on the Wii.
Fair enough.
I've never played it, but I own it.
Cool.
Pokemon Legends ZA got a new trailer. It's coming out late 2025. We don't know exactly when, probably October or November, like every Pokemon game usually comes out. We already knew about this game. It was already revealed more in depth on the Pokemon Presents prior. It looks pretty good. Yeah.
Pass.
I'm excited for it. We got the announcement of Rhythm Heaven Groove coming out next year, a new Rhythm Heaven game.
Smash, 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 smash. No.
Rhythm Heaven. That's all you need to say.
That's all you need to say.
Fucking Rhythm Heaven. It looks really
like,
good.
It's been forever since we've had a Rhythm Heaven game, and it's
when was the
last 3DS? That was the last
3DS
last one, but that one didn't even come out physically. That was a digital only release.
Yeah.
So that's dead now.
I'm very glad that it's coming back.
All right. After that, we got not a game, but we got the announcement of a big new update that's going to be coming to Switch, introducing what is called virtual game cards. And basically how these work, this update is also slated for later in the month. By the time some people might be listening to this, it may already be out, depending on how much later it gets to you. This will be out before the update, but, you know, depending on who listens when. But virtual game cards, basically, you'll be able to assign your digital downloaded games to be a virtual game card where you won't have to connect to the internet to authenticate that you own the game. And you can also move them between up to 2 systems at a time. And you won't have to authenticate on the other system. So like before, how they had it work, whereas if you had 2 switches and one of them was your main switch, you wouldn't have to connect online to play your downloaded games. But if you wanted to play your downloaded games on another switch under your account, you'd have to be connected online in order to do that. Well, now you don't have to do that. And also, thanks to virtual game cards, you'll be able to loan your games out to people. So if they're under your Nintendo Switch family plan, you can just be like, here you go. Here's this game that I have, and you can play it. And then they'll be able to keep it for up to 2 weeks before it just gets auto sent back to you. So this is kind of a weird way for them to like give a sense of ownership back to digital games. It's like on paper, it's actually kind of cool, but I'm not sure exactly all. We know quite a bit of the details, and but like it's still going to be weird, and we're not going to know exactly everything until like we actually get to use the feature. But it sounds kind of interesting. Of course, this is for digital games, and most of us here are like more physical aficionados. But I mean, for digital games, it's kind of interesting.
Now Cloud can finally play Bit Trip presents Runner 2, Future Legend of Rhythm Alien.
I can. I have no excuse now. You can
Yeah,
send it
true.
to me. You're gonna
You
send
can rent my copy.
You're gonna send it to me without me even knowing. I'm gonna see it pop up on my Switch home screen and be like, oh, I guess I have to do this.
Yeah, triple perfect plus that, bitch.
Oh God. Jack, do you have any thoughts on virtual game cards?
Not too many, but it seems pretty neat.
Yeah.
It's a neat idea.
And again, that system update is going to be added to include those later in April. We got a highlight sizzle reel. It didn't have too many games. It was just a few. We got a game called High on Life. I don't remember what this one was.
It's a weird shooter. I think it was made by some of the creators of Rick and Morty. Like your gun talks. I remember that.
Interesting.
It came out a while ago on some other systems.
There's Star Overdrive, another game I forgot about already.
Like an open world thing. I don't pass.
Yeah. The Wandering Village.
Pass.
King of Meat.
Funny title. Pass.
Yeah. Lose Lagoon.
Pass.
And they had to remind us that Fantasy Life I, The Girl Who Steals Time, is still a game that is still supposed to be coming out.
Smash.
Pass.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
That was all for the sizzle reel. Moving back to the main part of the direct, we had Saga Frontier 2 Remastered, and that was actually released that same day. So
Give me a
cool.
physical release.
They announced Monument Valley and Monument Valley 2 getting ports on April 15th. So by the time this is out on other platforms and not live, it'll already be out. So go get it if you want. And they also announced Monument Valley 3, which will also be coming out on Switch in summer.
Give me physical releases.
This next announcement was actually the biggest announcement for me personally. We got Everybody's Golf Hot Shots coming out 2025.
Piss.
Wow.
I'm
This
excited.
say bad things for it.
This is
It looks cool.
this is another game that Bandai Namco is publishing, and they've got one of their studios working on it. So it's really interesting that not only is there going to be a new Hot Shots game, it's not made by Sony's Claphand studio, and it is multi-platform. So I hope it does well.
Give me a physical release.
Yes, hopefully there's a physical release. There has been physical releases of every other Hot Shots golf game except for like a couple Japanese exclusive ones. So like, I can't see them not doing one. We got to get one. There was also Marvel Cosmic Invasion, which was just like a beat 'em up with really nice pixel sprite art, by the way. Holiday 2025, that's coming out.
It's made by the same team that did Streets of Rage 4.
Yep.
The recent TMNT games. I think they recently did a Power Rangers beat 'em up. So they're trying to do everything that they can beat up.
And I mean, they've been doing a pretty good job from the looks of it. So if you're interested in it, looks good. We got the final game announcement of this direct, and it's a pretty big one for the fans. Tomodachi Life Living the Dream coming 2026.
Smash.
Yeah, Smash. This looks really interesting. They definitely are working with the pun in the title of Living the Dream. There seems to be like some aspect of dreams to this game, but I mean it's Tomodachi Life. It looks wacky. It's going to be great. So
I can't wait to make Neil deGrasse Tyson fuck
it.
Them too.
Oh God.
Can't forget it.
Can't forget it.
Yeah, Jack, you
It's gotta
excited?
be in everything. Oh yeah, absolutely.
The first one was dumb fun. It's like
Yeah.
it's like good for like a month.
Yeah.
I don't say that as a bad thing. Like you can get like a good solid month of just playing this game.
We should
in like different
definitely.
spurts.
I definitely think we should stream this when it comes
Do a
out.
little bit of streaming.
Yeah.
A little streaming. Ooh. Well, you know where you can tell us when we can stream stuff? Patreon.com/GamingStooges.
Patreon.com/GamingStooges.
Go become a silver 2-steered.
Yeah.
Yeah, member.
Soul Steed Stooge.
Whatever I just said, that's a new tier.
And
You
when
can give us money.
And when we stream this, we might be able to utilize a special feature of something that we can talk about later when we get to it in the direct later. Ooh, a little bit of a. And then the last announcement from the Switch 1 Direct at the end of March was a new app, Nintendo Today, which came out that day. It's like a news app, and also they like put like random tidbits of Nintendo history of like different games and stuff like that. It's cute, I guess. I don't use it like every day, but sometimes I'll like pop in and like check out what they got to add, because like they've got like little things where they'll give you like little bits of information. You can be like, oh, that's cool or useful or cute or funny. So yeah.
Look at that.
Oh,
Look
God.
at him.
They got Donkey Kong right now on there. But yeah, have you used the Nintendo Today app? I was gonna ask Jack because I mean, obviously Landon has it.
I've not used it. No.
Wow.
I did send him screenshots of images of Daisy one day, though. Yeah. So he knows it exists.
Nice.
I think it's funny that literally the next day they announced the Zelda movie through the app.
Yes, that is, and I think that's a good thing to point out here because I did not put that in the notes. But yeah, they just like said by the way, that Zelda movie that everybody knows we're making, like this is when it comes out. Okay, bye. That was it.
Yeah.
Like, okay.
Like they're just like, okay, now we have to use this app. What the fuck?
Yeah. Like
I mean, it's cute.
they gave us a reason to use it.
Yeah, it's cute. Like seeing some of the screenshots for like a Mario Kart world is nice. Um and yeah, just seeing some of the videos come out, like it also will do your announcement for like what was added through Nintendo Music.
Oh,
Yeah.
I didn't
So
realize that, but that makes sense.
it does. It has like a full calendar of releases, so like you can go in and see, like you can go all the way to what the fuck is it? March 2027.
Oh wow. And then
Is that when
it's gonna say that Zelda comes out on that day in March 2027.
Yeah.
Nice. Okay.
So
Interesting.
yeah, you can go you can go all the way out there and you can see their release calendar for stuff, which is fun. So we'll see how it works going forward. It's probably going to be dumb, but it's free, so who
Yeah.
cares?
Yep. So that is everything from the Nintendo Direct on March 27th. Any overall thoughts? Uh, I I'll say that it's for a like near end of life Switch 1 Direct, especially coming right before the reveal of everything that's coming after. It wasn't too bad. I mean, there wasn't like anything I think that would set the entire world on fire, but you did have some pretty big announcements. You got Tomodachi Life, you've got a couple PlayStation franchises going multi-platform through Bandai Namco, so it wasn't devoid of interesting things for sure.
I think overall it was solid. There was like a couple repeat things that we already knew of that we were just, seeing almost a little bit more.
Right.
Like Pokemon Legends ZA,
We got a little more there.
Dragon
A
Quest,
little more Metroid Prime 4.
but that one was like
That one was
a
more
pretty
substantial because
that one was a pretty good chunk.
They had a good like couple minutes of gameplay that like we didn't see anything of prior, so that was like probably like one of the bigger things that they had for that direct.
I mean, I could go through and like name off literally everything I like really enjoyed.
But I think
it's like half of the direct was like stuff that I'm like, yeah, I want that. So,
Jack, what are your thoughts on the direct?
It was pretty good overall. I mean, good deal of stuff for like the end of, like you said, the end of the Switch's life. Like solid chunk of games that they had to show off here. I mean, like considering that this is just like essentially the preseason for what is the main event that is the Switch 2 Direct a week later. Yeah, it's a pretty good one.
It was able to justify its existence, I'll say.
Yeah.
All right,
and not be shoehorned into the Switch 2 Direct.
Yeah, and as Jack said, we just got done with the preseason. It's time for the main event. So on April 2nd, we had the Nintendo Switch 2 Direct. And I took notes for this manually, rewatching the Direct at 2x speed, and I jotted everything down as fast as I could. Everything I put down is in order that it happened. Yes, they do bounce around a little bit, but we're going to just jump right in. For the games, we'll do our smash, pass, or piss as usual. And for everything else, we'll just kind of give like brief thoughts on everything as we see fit. The first thing was the reveal of the new Mario Kart titled Mario Kart World. And it has Grand Prix as always, but there's also two new modes, major modes they showed off, Knockout and Free Roam. Knockout being a thing where like there's going to be checkpoints, and if you don't reach a certain place, you'll get kicked out. So basically, it just goes down to whoever wins. And then Free Roam, because the courses are so large and open, you'll have time to drive around and just kind of explore the racetracks. And this game comes out on the launch day with Switch 2. More on that later because they announced the launch date later in the Direct.
I think now we do have, by the time this goes out,
there's going to be there's going to be a Mario Kart World Direct as well. Yeah. We aren't able to comment on it because it hasn't happened yet.
Yeah, but from what they have shown off so far between this, the Treehouse Lives that happened after this direct, the following 2 days, and then some of the screenshots and like small little videos they've shown off through the Nintendo Today app. The game looks good.
Yeah. There's only 32 courses to start, but they are massive, and they're doing a lot of mixing up. Like, you're not seeing just like retro tracks in specific cups. It's all like mixed around. There's a lot of costumes. There's
Yes.
a bunch of new power-ups.
There's a bunch of new characters from what it looks like.
There's
too.
a bunch of new characters, including everybody's been talking about the cow from Moo Moo Farm. Moo Moo Meadows is on there. You've got the penguin from Mario Kart 64. You've got Goombas. Like,
We're also
a lot.
We're upping to, what was it, 24 racers.
This was you could see a glimpse of that during the initial reveal, but like you really got to see like more of that. That like, yeah, it's gonna be a pretty insane game. Yeah.
Yeah. So we'll
Jack,
see.
any thoughts on Mario Kart World?
It looks amazing and is the reason I'm going to be buying a Switch 2 on launch day, or well, pre-ordering, I should say.
I think it's going to be the
He's going to attempt to.
Yeah.
I was able to pre-order the Switch 1 pretty easily when it came out, but yeah, I mean, obviously current situation is different. We had a day for pre-order, and
that would be today.
And that would have been today, yes.
Yeah.
And then we are still waiting on that for reasons
we will not get into that.
We live in a society.
We live in a society.
Bottom text.
Bottom.
But top text.
This looks amazing. I love all of the dumb additional characters that they added, like the cow and the dolphin and the crab and all that other shit. I love how characters have like different costumes now. I think that's really cool and adds variety to like an already seemingly stacked character roster. The fact that they have 24 racers
at one time,
is pretty crazy.
Oh, and that's not even everything they showed. They also showed that there's new mechanics to the driving, so you no longer have paragliding and underwater, from the looks of it, as like, you know, specific separate things. They might fuse it in. There doesn't seem to be anti-gravity, but there's parkour. Like, you can like bounce off the walls.
You can grind on rails.
You can grind on rails.
Yeah, it's
there is still flying. Your car does basically what
it just like turns into a plane.
Yeah, it's basically transformed. Sonic and Sega All Stars transform. Your thing transforms into a boat or
they took away the gliders, and they also took away the kart customization as far as like car parts. So there's no gliders, there's no like tires. You just pick the vehicle. So the vehicle is going to adapt on its own to different scenarios, it looks like, which is very interesting. They also have a lot of personality. Like, the vehicles, like, they're like bouncy and they have a lot of animation to them. So I mean, it looks sick.
I might miss the like the cart customization, because it was fun to play around with that and find the thing that works best for you, like the Puff Junior on Cyber Slick wheels with, you know, whatever.
I will say, I mean, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe sold 70 million copies. I can't imagine all 70 million people that own that game are well versed in like picking a loadout. So like, this will be a lot more tangible for a lot of more casual players. So hopefully the costumes and just the personality that the carts seem to have, that's an extension of the character, will make up for that. So looks great. So after the Mario Kart World reveal, they got into the hardware features, and boy, are there a lot. So we found out there's a new button on the right Joy-Con. There was a lot of rumors about it, but we didn't know it for sure. It is the C button, and that C button opens something called Game Chat. And it is effectively, to summarize what I'm about to say, Discord built into your Nintendo Switch 2. You will be able to do calls, you will be able to share video, and you will even be able to attach a camera and use camera if you'd like, and the camera will also be able to filter you out of the background and like green screen you onto your gameplay. The system itself has a built-in microphone to pick up on your voice, so you don't have to attach a microphone. And it's supposed to also have some like noise cancellation properties, so like, even though if it's docked and it's like away from you, it'll still have an easier time picking your voice up in the middle of a room and also filtering your voice out based on like if there's any noise happening. It's basically like a lot of the same tech as the microphone that's in the DualSense controller, but built in for the PlayStation 5, but like actually just built this on the system itself, which I think is probably a little better. There will be a camera peripheral that is sold separately to use game chat. I'll talk more about that later. The game chat will require a Switch Online membership after a free trial period that lasts for about a year or so. So, I mean, as
I'm
far
not
as the
gonna let them watch that shit, Katie. Fuck off.
yeah, you won't hear Landon's girls watching Coco Melon in the background. Oh God. But yeah, I think so. As far as game chat, I'll say that I mean I expected it to be something that you would need a Switch membership for. It like you have to have Switch Online to go online and play with people for the most part anyway. So like I mean, I know a lot of people were complaining, "Oh, yeah, it's a button that you have to pay for to use," but it's like it's a feature that you would need to be able to use have that membership anyway to begin with. So like it's not that
Yeah,
big a
what are you
deal
gonna?
for me personally. I think it's a pretty
You
cool
can just
feature.
press the button if it without the membership. Go for it.
Yeah.
See what happens.
But yeah, thoughts on game chat, Jack?
We have Discord.
But Discord sucks.
Yeah.
I was gonna say
there's
This
that.
doesn't look much better, honestly.
No, but
I think one
Discord
thing
famously sucks.
I think
so.
one thing that's going to be good is even if the gameplay doesn't have the smoothest frame rate because it is going to prioritize your actual game having a smooth performance over the display of other people's gameplay. It will be a way that if we wanted to like share all of our gameplay at once on one stream, which is what we were alluding to earlier, we can do that. And not just me, but like, now if you need an easier
Skype.
yeah, if you need a way to if you need an easy cost efficient way to be able to have a group of friends all streaming together and playing a game together, like this can do that. So it's not the worst thing ever. I think it's a pretty cool feature. It does do a little bit more than like the group party stuff in on PlayStation. So like I'm surprised that they went as far as they did with it.
I will say
Yeah.
the smartest thing they did is they showed off. I don't know if it's later in this or what. The Legend of Zelda: Link Between A Link to the Past plus Four Swords for Game Boy Advance, Nintendo Switch Online. Because Four Swords is like a perfect game for this.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now Four Swords Adventure, Nintendo.
Yeah. Another major thing that they introduced, we have game sharing, which is it's DS download play. It's back again, baby. We got it on the Switch.
Here we are, baby.
There's going to be some games that you can play locally with multiple Switch consoles with only one copy of the game. It's only available for select titles. One of the major ones that they announced this update would get an update for this is Clubhouse games. So you no longer need to have one Switch if you're playing with friends near you in order to play a game together. If they have their own Switch, you'll be able to stream it over to them. And this is not exclusive to Switch 2. They did show that this is possible with older Switch units as well. So if you're playing Clubhouse games on like Switch 2, you can still send it to someone on a Switch 1 or a Switch Lite, and you can still do it. So yeah, that's pretty cool.
Neat.
Yeah, neat. The Switch itself, they started going over more of the specs. The tablet has a 1080p screen, and it will also support 120 frames per second, both in handheld and on the dock. That's pretty wild. And it also has HDR and VRR, which is short for variable refresh rate. Now, if you don't know what that means, that basically means that usually before games and systems did not have this. So if the frame rate was dropping a lot, you would really like see it start to chug. Variable refresh rate is a way for it to tell the display to only refresh at the rate that the game can produce the frames. So even though you'll probably see a little bit of stuttering, it's not going to affect the game as much. you're going to see a smoother experience overall. So that's really cool that it's on the tablet itself too. So it's not just on docked mode. Pretty sweet. They showed off that the Joy-Cons attached by magnets. They showed this off when they revealed the system in their textless little trailer a couple months back. We know this. There's bigger SL and SR buttons. There's a release button on the back to detach from the console. It's the same release button that you would see on the Switch 1 that was like tiny. Now it's like really big. So like you cannot miss this button anymore. It is there and you can see it. And there's also larger analog sticks as well. And the Joy-Con support mouse controls. You can turn them on their side and then use them like mice. And there's a lot of games that we're going to talk about later that use this feature. It is not a gimmick. They are making it a real thing. This is not, shake the Joy-Con and feel the ice cubes in the glass. Like, no, this is a pretty big thing.
They will have 3 games that use it. Big feature.
It's definitely a feature that they're going to be able to make more use of, though. For sure.
Oh yeah, for sure.
The tablet also has clearer audio with built-in speakers. There's like a 3D sound technology to it, and there's a noise cancellation tech in there for microphones. So, like I mentioned earlier, so it's just overall better audio quality, both for your input and output. So that's pretty cool. It's got a kickstand that's much more similar to the Switch OLED model. Just hollows out the middle part, but it's very angular. You'll be able to put it at all sorts of different angles, just like the OLED model. If you have had a Switch OLED, it's pretty much the same. Katie mentioned this, and I am going to bring this up because I kind of glossed over it for some reason in my notes. But yes, the Switch 2 has another
It's
USB-C.
literally the next point.
Oh, it is. Damn it. I was literally about to say, yep.
You were.
two USB-C ports. There's one on top and one on the bottom. So the top one is there for charging or for using the camera that you can plug into it. So you can use the camera in tabletop mode as well. But it'll also allow you to plug in your charger. So if you're at a train station or something and they have plug outlets and you're trying to play your Switch, you'll be able to charge it at the same time. The system comes with 256 gigabytes of internal storage, which is a huge step up from the Switch 1. The 256 gigabytes actually is going to be quite a lot. We'll get into it later. They didn't really talk about this. They didn't talk about this in the Direct. We found out later the sizes of the games. So I think 256 is going to be fine. Docked mode has support for up to 4K resolution. And for the added power, it also has a built-in fan that's supposed to be there to help cool the Switch 2 while it's processing all that. And then they reiterated something that they put in a trailer from a couple months back where it is backwards compatible with many Nintendo Switch games. It is not actually fully backwards compatible. Weirdly enough, it is not. It's not a Switch 2 with Switch 1 hardware inside it. It's like basically like emulating it in a way. So like there's like a I'll go over it later, but there's like there's a thing with it. But yeah, that is all of the main hardware features that they went over all in one go. So how are we feeling about the Switch 2 hardware?
I can't complain.
I think it's like the upgrade that the Switch needs. Like 1080p screen, awesome.
It's just everything that the Switch 1 was, but beefier. And that's all it really needed, honestly.
It is the Switch Pro.
It pretty much is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I gotta say, when they went over all of the specs, I was a little bit more impressed than I was expecting to come out with. Knowing the size of the games, I think 256 gigabytes of internal storage is decent enough. But the resolution, the tech that they got in there for that sort of thing, that's going to be also just even in handheld mode, like not even just playing it on the dock, like you're going to get some really beautiful looking games that way.
I'm excited.
The game chat's pretty cool. We talked about that. The 4K mode on the dock. The 4K mode on the dock, that shit blew me away. I was expecting like 1440p was going to be their cap. I guess 4K. All right, let's go. Let's do it. Nintendo's stepping up to the plate.
I will say from the specs I've seen on the system, like the actual like hardware specs, this is like basically a portable like PlayStation 4 essentially.
It's the power wise, it's probably a PlayStation 4. The actual like performance it can output based on the tech that's in there, because like it's got some upscaling tech that it's going to be utilizing and stuff like that. It'll trick you, and it'll look closer to like a PS4 Pro. But
Yeah,
yeah,
but it's like hardware wise, it's like PlayStation 4 Plus.
Yeah, so it's
which is like that's more than what I could have asked for a handheld system.
It's definitely more than enough to get as many games as publishers can throw at this thing. So, yeah. They went back to a bunch of different announcements after this. They started talking about Nintendo Switch 2 Welcome Tour, which is a game tech demo thing. Has lots of mini games. There's little information pieces that you can read. It helps explain how the Nintendo Switch 2 works. And it is not a pack-in title. It is a paid extra download for $10.
I'm sorry. I think you said that wrong. I think this is the perfect thing to be a pack-in title for free.
I know, right?
Downloaded directly to your system.
I know, but it's not. It's weird.
So can you read that one more time and make sure you got it right? This should be a free title pre-downloaded onto your system when you boot it up.
Nope. It is a paid extra download.
Nope.
That is exactly what they said on the direct. We didn't know that. We didn't know the price afterwards. We found out it's $10, but that's still $10 too much.
I thought it was $6.
No.
It is $10, and
wow,
here
that's worse.
It's like, this is basically an instruction manual with some interactive elements to it, and you are charging money for it. What is this? I don't know.
But to be fair, it is less money than they charge for 1-2 Switch, which was basically the same thing.
Yes, to be fair, 1-2 Switch was a $50 game that should have been a pack-in game, and very few people bought it. At least with this, it's $10, so I think more people will be inclined to try it out. But it is still a tech demo that should have just been packed in. But hey, it's Nintendo. They don't like packing stuff in unless Reggie Fils-Aimé says you're packing this in. So what are you going to do?
And he's dead.
R.I.P. Reggie.
Yeah. Nintendo killed him. As
Jack,
an employee.
do you have any thoughts on the Welcome Tour?
He's still alive as of the time of this recording. He's fine.
Not really. The only thing I'll say is that I miss Reggie.
Yeah, I miss Reggie.
Because I think Reggie would have probably wanted them to put this out for free.
Oh, yeah. So, they also went
Otherwise,
back
I don't care about it.
and talked about game cards. So the game cards for the Switch 2 are the same shape and size and everything as the Switch 1. So it is literally like the same cart, but they're red to differentiate them. So they're doing kind of the 3DS thing where like it's basically the same, but there's that one little thing that makes it so that like you know that it's different. With the 3DS, it was like, here's the little notch next to at the end, and it's gray. Well, this time it's like it's the same cartridge but red.
But people will buy this and put it into their Switch 1 console.
Yes, they will.
And be sad when they can't play it because they are dumb.
Yes.
I'm calling out every single human on the face of the planet. You are dumb. I'm included in that. I'm going to do the same thing.
Also, this was probably one of the more it's understandable, but this one was a little bit more of the disappointing points. The Switch 2 now requires new micro SD cards that have Express specifically. So if it is a micro SD that does not have Express support, you will not be able to use it. You need the new micro SD Express. It's because it allows the faster read speeds and everything so that you can actually properly use all the games and stuff like that. I mean, it's fine. I still wish that there
sounds like a scam.
Micro SD Express isn't all that much more expensive than a typical micro SD card, thankfully. And this is not proprietary. This is literally just the newer micro SD tech. This isn't like a PSP or a PS Vita situation with proprietary stuff that is like just owned by the one company. But it does suck that like you can't use your older stuff. Like you can't even do what you can do with PS5, where like you can hook up an external hard drive that works for your PS4 stuff. No, you can't even do that. Like you have to use the micro SD Express, even if you're just using for Switch 1 games. Oh well.
It's unfortunate, but it makes sense because, you know, a more powerful system requires like a memory card that has like a higher like or a faster like processing speed,
Right.
for lack of a better term. So it sucks and they're going to be harder to find, but it makes sense.
Yeah.
And the fact that they are still SD cards or micro SD cards anyway, is nice.
Yeah. It's not like like we said, they're not proprietary. It's just newer micro SD cards. So if you don't have them already, you will need them, but they're still micro SD cards. So they'll work in anything else that you decide to use afterwards if you want to. So the Switch 2 Pro controller was shown off. It has a similar design to the Pro controller from the Switch 1, although it has like a white accents on it now. And it also has a C button, obviously, for your game chat. It does have an audio jack now.
Yeah.
And there are now mappable GL and GR buttons on the back. I never use these, but there's a lot of controllers that add these extra back buttons with programmability to them. So, I mean, it's cool to have. It's the Switch 1 controller, but better and newer. And from what I've heard, they fixed the D-pad a bit. So like it actually like locks to cardinal directions better when you're like pressing on it a lot. So it's going to be a lot more, it's going to pivot better, probably closer to like the Wii U gamepads, D-pads, stuff like that like locked better to directions. But overall, we don't know the battery life on this thing yet. They haven't said anything on it for some reason. I'm hoping it's still like the typical 40 hours that we saw. But otherwise, I mean, Switch 2 Pro controller. If you don't want
I like the message in every single one of Jack's streams that says low battery on controller. So I really hope it has a smaller battery life.
Wow, that's so rude. That's so rude.
Hey, to be 100% fair, it popped up in the Wingspan stream that happened last. So I'm also in the same boat.
I'm bad about charging my controllers. I will admit that.
Yeah. Now, on the plus side, if you are not able to get a Switch 2 Pro controller for any reason, the Switch 1 controllers all work with the Switch 2 anyway, so you don't have to move up to new controllers if you don't want to, but having the new controller option is pretty cool. And then it was here for some reason that they decided to announce the launch date of the system, just randomly in the middle. It comes out June 5th this year, so less than 2 months away.
I will say, way sooner than I thought.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I was expecting like a midsummer, late summer release. I was
hoping for a next year. I was like, just make it 2026, 2027.
Just delay it one more year. Who cares?
Give me a little bit of time, Reggie.
Yeah.
Come on, Reggie.
It's Reggie's fault.
Reginald.
Yeah. I mean, I'm excited for it, but damn, I do wish that the launch date was just a little further out. Like I am scrambling to have the money for this in time.
Damn. Are we gonna do it? Oh no, we have one more bullet point, and then we can start going through the games again.
So Nintendo Switch 2, they went over this again, but they also added some more information. So Nintendo Switch 2 will be playing compatible Nintendo Switch games. Well, more on that later. Nintendo Switch 2 games, obviously. And there's a new third section, Nintendo Switch 2 Edition games, which we're going to get into. Basically, it means it's a Nintendo Switch 2 edition of a Nintendo Switch 1 title. And what that means is whatever they want it to mean. Let's go over some games. Let's go over some games. First one. Mario Party Jamboree Switch 2 Edition plus Jamboree TV.
Smash. Cloud hates Mario Party now. It's a known fact. Join our Discord.
I'm definitely going to be buying the expansion for this. So
I will.
I think
I will.
Bethany is going to force me to buy the expansion for this.
I will join you. Maybe now I will finally play more than one game in the Jamboree.
So, Mario Party Jamboree Switch 2 Edition will be adding a bunch of new content, and it's going to be using Switch 2 features like the microphone, the camera, mouse controls, and yeah, it looks good. It looks like it's a substantial update to Mario Party Jamboree. I don't have it yet, so I would have to buy the whole thing. So I'm not 100% sure I'm going to get it, but if I do, I'm sure it'll be worth it. Because
you can also buy a Piranha Plant camera to go along with it.
No.
Coward.
The next thing that they announced were Nintendo Switch 2 editions for both Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom. And those include performance boosts, and there's also a new Zelda Notes function on the Nintendo app. It used to be called Nintendo Switch Online app. Now it's just called Nintendo app. And it'll help you with like just like your hunting. It'll basically like helps guide you through the game. There's also some new amiibo coming out alongside that, so that's pretty cool.
Smash ?
Yeah, Smash ? Mark.
So this is all cool, but we also know Nintendo is. We're going to get into what should be the later discussion. Yeah. Only a little bit. I'm not going to dive too deep.
No, that's fine.
They are charging $10 extra for this.
And there's no new content.
Except for Google Maps.
Yeah, like Google Maps on a Nintendo app.
They made Google Maps for Zelda. Nintendo, why didn't you make the map in these games better?
I don't know.
There's that.
Yeah.
But yeah. They also showed off Kirby and the Forgotten Land and Starcross World, which is a new content for Kirby and the Forgotten Land. The Nintendo Switch 2 edition of Kirby and the Forgotten Land also has a performance boost. Instead of it running in 30 frames, it now runs in 60. I believe the resolution for the Switch 2 edition is supposed to be 1440p instead of the whatever it was on the Switch 1. So it looks great. There's a lot of new content.
Definitely
is
getting this one.
This was one of the best games on the Nintendo Switch. Fight me.
Yeah,
absolutely. No, I agree.
Those were two separate statements. This is one of the best games. Also fight me. Also fight me. Unrelated. I mean, it looks so good. It looks
so fucking good.
This new content looks really good. So I'm excited.
We got entire new levels and also huge performance boost. Like,
yeah.
Oh, I'm gonna buy this.
This is, I would say, out of these 4 games that are Nintendo Switch 1 games that are getting the bonus treatment that is not just a free update. This is
the biggest one.
This is the best of these ones.
Yeah.
Hands down.
It's more closer to like Mario Party Jamboree Switch 2 edition, where you are getting substantial new content, and also it's one of the best Switch games that's getting this additional content and gonna run better. So yeah, no, yeah, absolutely. And I own this game already, so I just have to buy the upgrade. So that's I can do that. I can handle that. And then more Nintendo Switch 2 editions. We got one for Metroid Prime 4, Nintendo Switch 2 edition. So this is where Landon wanted to talk about a lot more about Metroid Prime 4. So Metroid Prime 4, I don't know how Retro Studios is doing this. They're like, they must be gods or something. We are getting 2 modes. So like a lot of PlayStation 5 games have this, where there's like a performance or a quality mode. The quality mode on Metroid Prime 4, Nintendo Switch 2 is 4K 60 FPS. Or you can play performance mode with 1080p 120 FPS. How did they do this?
I'm excited. I am so fucking... They showed off...
7 to 8 years of development is how they did this.
True,
I mean,
fair.
yes. But they showed off in the Treehouse Live that happened the following day. like the first, like from the start of the game to like beating the first boss, and it just looks fantastic.
I saw
Like
textures, lighting, like everything looks so. It's definitely, even I can see this being one of the best looking Switch 2 games for years after the system's out.
I can see this being one of the best looking Switch 1 games.
Yes.
Like this is what we need. Now, give me a fucking Prime 2 and Prime 3 remaster. Cowards.
Please.
That would be really cool. Did you have anything to add, Jack?
No. It looks amazing, though.
And the last Switch 2 edition they showed off was also the most vague. Pokemon Legends ZA Switch 2 edition, they just showed that it has higher frame rate and resolution. It looks like an actual game that was made by people with a lot of money and not just like, small indie dev studio game. Sure. I mean, I'm the Pokemon fan here, out of the most, and like, whatever. Like, okay, sure, fine. It's not Kirby in Forgotten Land.
It's just me. It's probably not just me, but Pokemon has really like gone away from what I want out of Pokemon. And also, this is the fucking Kalos region. Fuck off.
But yeah, I mean,
the game itself looks like those who would enjoy this style game will enjoy it. It looks cool. It looks nice. It looks fine. I will buy it if it's $20 at one point. I guess I'll never buy it.
Yes, exactly.
I wasn't a huge fan of Pokemon Legends Arceus, but I like the way this one looks, and I'm looking forward to it. I
hope it's a little bit more focused than Legends Arceus, because that one just like was like, all right, have fun.
It looks like it will be, since this was actually shown off at the Nintendo Switch 1 Direct, but one major thing that they're adding is a ranking mode where basically you'll be fighting against NPC trainers going up a ladder, and you start at rank Z and you have to make your way all the way up to rank A. So there's going to be a lot more focus where you're going to have wild Pokemon hunting during the day. You're going to have trainer battles at night for this ranking system. And yeah, the Switch 2 edition does look nice. As a Pokemon fan, I'm not sure if it's worth whatever extra money they want for it. I'm probably still just going to get the Switch 1 release, unless the Switch 2 edition is literally the same price, which is not likely because none of them are that we know of. So
now the question is, for this, I think we've already seen the Metroid Prime 4 box. Why does it have to have the fucking text at the bottom?
Yeah, so actually let's get into that now because we just covered everything. So of all of the box arts we've seen so far, all of the Switch 2 editions have this like fucking thing on the bottom where it's like
a disclaimer.
Yeah, it's like a big disclaimer about it being a Switch game with the upgrade pack, and the upgrade pack's like a download. It's like
we don't even know that.
Yeah,
that's the sad thing.
Like some of them are like we'll have to talk more about Switch 2 editions later on in this podcast and like later on in like other things as well. But it's just like, Switch 2 editions are a thing. It's going to be really weird to see how developers and Nintendo themselves handle this going forward. Going back to games, Drag and Drive, a new game which is featuring Joy-Con mouse controls, releasing in the summer of 2025. Guys, they skipped right over legs. We got paraplegic robots playing basketball.
We did it.
Hell yeah, brother.
We did it. It looks cute. It'll probably have the same amount of content as ARMS.
Yep.
And if it's $60, then it's not worth it. If it's $70, it's definitely not worth it. If it's $40,
if it's like 40 or 50, I can definitely see this being a decent enough game. But yeah, if they're trying to price this at like 60 or higher, I'm not getting this.
It's a good pass until it's cheaper.
Exactly. They showed off Elden Ring coming to Switch 2 in 2025. I mean, everyone saw this coming, and I mean, yeah, it's cool that it's coming over, but like It's so late. Like the Elden Ring hype is gone, dude. That
No,
train,
it's still there.
that train,
It's still there.
it's still there.
Yeah, it's.
I like to argue
It's.
that it isn't, but it's probably the
I know you
DLC.
don't, and I 100%. I was the first on the boat to get off of the hype train boat because I was never on the said boat. But it's people still like Elden Ring.
It's cool though. I mean, I'm sure a lot of people that like this game.
Here's the problem.
Maybe
make it $80. Perfect. That'll fix it.
make it $79.99. Says.
It's a thing we learned about later, but the release is botched, so I don't care.
Oh,
we'll talk about it. I'm pretty sure this is gonna be a game key card.
Oh boy.
Game.
Yeah.
So
we'll talk about it later then. They revealed Hades 2 coming to Switch 2.
Smash. They announced Hades 2 for the Switch 2.
Smash.
It is a timed.
We already knew about this game.
It is a timed exclusive for Switch 2.
Yeah, and the Switch. They have come back and later clarified it is also going to be on Switch 1, and it'll be the timed console exclusive for Switch 1 and 2.
But
it looks fucking amazing. Give it to me.
Yeah. They showed off Switch 2 edition for Street Fighter 6 coming to Switch 2 on launch day. There's also some amiibo coming out alongside those.
Pass.
Yeah, I'm not a Street Fighter fan. Pass. It's cool. It's cool that we're getting big fighting games like this, but
it's another game key card title.
I guarantee
it is.
No, it is.
Oh, it is. Oh, yeah.
It is.
We've
already seen already seen the box art. It's up. You like on GameStop has this available for pre-order.
We'll get into it later, but yeah, we got to talk about that when we get there. Daemon X Machina is getting a new game for Nintendo Switch 2. It's called Daemon X Machina Titanic Scion. It comes out on September 5th.
The first game was so fun for one exact weekend because that's how long the game was. You could beat it in 5 hours. I'm so excited to have a game I can beat in 5 hours. That will take me 3 months to play now.
True.
I did enjoy the first game. This looks a lot of fun. I'm very excited.
We got Split Fiction coming to Switch 2. If I don't announce, if I don't mention a release date, that's because, to my knowledge, if I remember correctly, during the Direct, these were not given release dates because I tried to put release dates on everything I found. EA Sports is going to be supporting Switch 2. They announced Madden. Sure, why not? Whatever.
Pass.
Hogwarts Legacy is going to be getting a Switch 2 release, so I mean, at least it won't run like absolute garbage like it does on Switch 1. Sure, why not?
Pass.
Here's a good one. Tony Hawk 3 and 4 is getting a Switch 2 release, and we also got a release date for it coming out summer 2025.
You mean the new SpongeBob game?
It's got SpongeBob content in it. And I didn't know about this till Jack said something because it is literally blink and you miss it.
Yeah, no, it's like 2 seconds in the trailer. There's like a bit where like one of the skaters like dives into the water and it has like the SpongeBob like
a few
time travel cards. It's like a few moments later, and then like they're underwater and it's fucking big. I saw that and I was like, oh, that's kind of cute. They had the SpongeBob card.
And then they ended
they're underwater and they're in Bikini Bottom. I'm just like, what?
And then the trailer for it ends like 2 seconds after that. So yeah. But yeah,
fuck it, why not?
Hitman World of Assassination Signature Edition will be coming to Switch 2.
Be a physical card. Fuck.
We got the announcement of a new 007 game that will be coming to Switch 2. We don't know much about it. It's just Project 007.
Potential smash.
Smash.
Cautiously optimistic smash.
Let's see. Let's not forget, we've had some great 007 games on Nintendo systems before. We just don't know what this game is besides it is 007. So Bravely Default HD Remaster is coming to Switch 2. It had some new features utilizing mouse controls and stuff like that. It'll be out on launch day. And for a reason that we'll talk about later, I want to be hyped for this, but I am not.
Fucking piss.
Yeah.
Game key card.
I will-
Game key card. Game key card.
I
Game key card.
will happily just replay my 3DS copy. Thank you very much. Yakuza 0 Director's Cut is coming to Switch 2, and it's on launch day.
Smash.
Yeah. It's Jack, you said you wanted to get into the Yakuza series.
Oh,
and this was
yeah.
probably the game you were going to start with. And
Well, per Al's recommendation, this is the best game to start the franchise with, and the fact that it is actually on card.
thank you, Sega.
Thank you, Sega,
Thank
for
you.
doing the bare minimum.
Exactly.
The absolute bare minimum.
So yeah, we also got Koei Tecmo. They showed off another Hyrule Warriors game. This is the third Hyrule Warriors game. It's called Age of Imprisonment, and it will be taking place before Tears of the Kingdom in story. And it releases in the winter of this year. It could be this year. It could be early next year. They didn't say 2025. They just said winter, so it could be early next year.
I am looking forward to this. I enjoyed the first two. I actually played Age of Calamity. Thank you very much. I played one Switch game in my entire life. That was not Balatro. So yeah, I'm looking forward to this. Smash.
And yeah, Pixel, I do want to mention, yes, unfortunately, it's not a real physical Bravely Default, but we'll talk more about that later. This next announcement is probably one of the biggest announcements for Jack and Landon. Nintendo Switch Online Plus Expansion Pass is getting a new edition GameCube.
Ooh. And don't worry,
Yes.
Potato. I am going to keep playing Balatro.
Yes.
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 So just to go over it real quick, they announced the slew of games we're going to be getting at first and games that are guaranteed to be coming a little later. The launch titles for it include Legend of Zelda The Wind Waker,
Woo,
Soul
baby.
Calibur 2 featuring Link. Yes, he is in
baby.
there. F-Zero GX.
It'd be
Oh,
weird.
fuck yeah.
It'd be weird if Soul Calibur 2, the GameCube edition, did not actually have the GameCube edition content.
Yeah, it'd be really
Yeah.
weird. But I just wanted to make sure that everybody knew, yes, Link is in this version of the game.
Yes, they did not strip anything from the GameCube edition of Soul Calibur 2.
Yeah.
The one that came out on our console.
Yeah.
And then those are the games that are coming out when the GameCube expansion pass happens. And also coming later, we've got Super Mario Sunshine, Fire Emblem Path of Radiance,
Yeah.
Pokemon Colosseum and Pokemon XD Gale of Darkness,
Double yeah.
Super Mario Strikers,
Okay.
Chibi
Fuck yeah.
Robo, and Luigi's
All right.
Mansion.
This
All-
is fucking great.
All bangers. Give
Like-
them to me now.
What more? Is there anything left in the GameCube library? I don't think so.
I
Mario
mean, there's
Super
games,
Splatters.
but like this is a phenomenal lineup to just start out with. This does come out the same day as the Nintendo Switch 2, and to my knowledge, this is exclusive to Nintendo Switch 2 because of processing power. There's a lot of cool features that you'll be able to use, like the emulation quality, top notch from what we've seen. You'll be able to do widescreen if you want. The clarity with the graphics are going to be really nice with the upscaling. Yeah, I mean, you can remap buttons as usual. You got save states. You can play online, obviously, with your multiplayer. It's great. It's great. I was not expecting this. I'm eating my words. I thought that this was not going to be a thing, but it's a thing and it's real and it's coming very soon.
Take that, asshole.
Yeah,
I don't know what that is, but take it.
right. And yeah, I gotta agree with the potato. It's going to be great to play Pokemon Colosseum and XD, considering that those games are $100+, and I think XD is approaching $200. You can actually play these
Probably.
games without having to sell a kidney, so that's great.
But do we get access to the Pokemon Colosseum bonus disc where we can download Jirachi onto our copies of Pokemon Ruby and Sapphire version
God,
on
I
Nintendo
wish.
Switch Online?
But obviously not, because we can have, listen, when it comes to Pokemon games on Nintendo Switch Online, we can have everything we want except for the main series games. And
These
also,
are more main series than the main series games. Fight me.
we also, going back to other game announcements, Deltarune is going to be coming out on the same day as Switch 2, and notably, they advertised that they are also that this includes chapters 3 and 4, which previously people were waiting on. Like I was interested in this game, but I didn't touch on it because I don't like when games are episodic and they're releasing in like pieces. So if this is the full game, I'm excited. I've been waiting to play this game after actually being complete. So if it's complete now, cool.
I'm so excited for you. You can tell it in my voice.
Yeah. But yeah,
Neat.
Deltarune tomorrow. Apparently that's
Neat.
a meme. That's a joke. After that, Borderlands 4 coming to Switch 2.
Jump scare.
See.
I think Jack and I have talked about Borderlands and because we talked about Borderlands when it came to the state of play that happened earlier this year.
Yeah.
And this is cool, but the classes have to be dope as fuck for
Yeah.
Borderlands 4 to even matter.
Yeah.
Like, that was my biggest thing for Borderlands 3 is none of the classes looked cool. And also there was no Game of the Year edition
Yeah.
post-launch, so like that was
Yeah,
usually
they
like
did.
my
They
biggest
didn't
thing.
release one, huh?
No, because they're like, just buy the Ultimate Edition at launch where you get all the DLC as a download voucher. And I'm like, no.
Yeah. We also have the announcement for Civilization 7 will be coming to Switch 2. This is cool because I mean,
Neat.
with mouse controls on the Joy-Con,
It actually looked like it could be a lot of fun
Yeah.
on the Switch because of that.
yeah. 2K Games just came in. They said they're going to be supporting Switch 2. Obviously, they supported Switch 1, even though it was like super underpowered for their games. But WWE 2K and NBA are still going to be on Switch. So, sure.
Neat.
This is the
Neat.
part of the direct that gets a little funny. So we got a trailer for a game called Survival Kids coming out on launch day, and it looks like a mediocre mobile game. And I put in my notes, how did this get in the direct?
They paid Nintendo a lot of money.
They had to have paid Nintendo a lot of money
I
because this doesn't
genuinely
look like
don't
it belongs
remember
here.
this. I watched the entire direct and I don't remember this.
It's like a 4 kids crash land and don't know how to do anything.
So Survival Kit, it looks like it's a I don't know if it's a reimagining or a reboot or what, but Survival Kids was originally a Game Boy Color game.
Mm-hmm. I don't think this is related at all.
It's either. But yeah,
Are you sure?
I don't.
Is this not Konami? Or is this a completely different thing?
I was gonna say I don't think that's Konami. Like the graphics on it were very. And
No, this is Konami. This
It
is on
is?
Konami's website.
Oh my god!
It is Konami.
And the
Why is
original game
Konami
was published by
publishing this
Konami.
game?
Published and developed by Konami.
Why?
So this is
No,
a
what?
straight up Konami release.
It looks like they just they made this game with AI. That's gross. I don't like this.
I mean, it doesn't look like it was AI generated, but it looks really bad.
Yeah.
Anyway, even if,
Piss.
like regardless.
Piss.
This is after we were just praising Konami with
Yeah.
Yeah.
in the last direct, and now we're back.
We're back.
Here we are.
All things balance out.
Exactly. We got Enter the Gungeon 2 coming to Switch 2.
Pass.
Wait, pass?
Yeah, I said pass. I meant
Okay.
that.
Did you play the first one?
I own it.
Oh, okay. For some reason, I thought you had played it.
Nope, I owned it though.
Hmm.
I still own it too.
We also got Starseeker Astroneer Expeditions coming in 2026.
Pass.
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 Cyberpunk 2077 Ultimate Edition will be coming to Nintendo Switch 2 on launch day.
Pass, but I respect them for putting it on cart.
And it took a massive cart to fit that game. So
I won't
absolute
lie.
props.
If the price is reasonable, I might buy it just to support the fact that there's a third-party publisher that is putting a game on an actual cart.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Their balls are dangling on the floor for that one.
Like, fuck.
All right. And then the last big thing before a big sizzle reel was Final Fantasy VII Remake Intergrade is coming to Switch 2. That is literally like the biggest layup of all time. Everybody knew this was going to happen.
I can't
Yep.
wait for this to be a game key card.
I swear to God, if it's a game key card, I'm not even
game
gonna bother.
key card title.
It probably is
I-
because Square Enix are cheapskates.
I won't lie. If this was on a cartridge, I would buy it. The
won't
ball
happen,
is in
though.
your court, Square Enix.
Yep.
Yeah.
The biggest hater is right here,
It's
and
like-
I'm willing to spend money.
It's like, and not only is it Final Fantasy, it's your least favorite one.
Yeah, because I haven't played it yet.
But yeah, so like Final Fantasy VII Remake, like Final Fantasy, like Bravely Default, okay, fine, the game was small, maybe they don't want to invest in the actual cartridges for it, but if they don't put this on a physical cart, they're trolling. Sizzle Real Time, you guys ready to shotgun through all these? We got Kunitsugami, Path of the Goddess, that's coming out on launch day.
Pass.
We got
Pass.
Hollow Knight Silk Song, confirmed
even
for
talk about it.
2025, apparently.
I-
Don't even
supposedly.
talk about it. Don't even talk about it. It didn't happen. People were
It was in the
huffing fumes when this came by.
It's so funny that this just got shown off for like 3 seconds in a sizzle reel and just did not elaborate further. Leaves.
And yet,
Yep.
it's the third biggest announcement.
Yeah, it's really weird. Story of Seasons Grand Bazaar, they announced a Switch 2 edition, will be coming out August 27th, 2025.
Pass.
You've got Goodnight Universe releasing 2025. You get to play as a baby.
Pass.
2 Point Museum
Pass.
coming out in 2025. A lot of these don't have
Pass.
specific release dates, just confirmed for 2025.
Pass.
Yeah, true. They gave nothing about Silk Song outside of the fact that they confirmed that it is real. You have Wild Hearts S coming out July 2025. That actually has an actual date.
Cool for Monster Hunter fans.
Yep.
Pass.
Pass.
Witchbrook was confirmed to also be coming to Switch 2 holiday 2025.
Pass.
Pass.
Puyo Puyo Tetris 2 is getting a Switch 2 version just called Puyo Puyo Tetris 2S. That is coming out launch day. So that's cool.
What do you think? What do you think?
I
Yeah, Cloud.
don't care enough to get the Switch 2 version because the graphics are not like something that I feel needs that much upgrading. If there's more content, I'll look into it, but like
Your Tetraminos need to look sharper, crisper, 4K-er. What are you talking about? 4K-er.
Rune Factory Guardians of Azuma Switch 2 edition coming out on launch day.
Pass.
They confirmed Marvel Cosmic Invasion, which we talked about earlier, will also be on
Pass.
Switch 2 holiday 2025. Star Wars Outlaws is coming out in 2025.
Pass.
Pass.
And then they showed off just like a few seconds of like a bunch of games that were already shown off earlier in the direct, so I'm not going to go over them again.
Who cares? We talked about those.
And then
Pass.
we got Nobunaga's Ambition Awakening Complete Edition coming out launch day.
I swear to God, if you put this on a fucking game key cart like Play Asia says it's going to be, I'm going to be so fucking pissed.
If it is, definite pass.
Next game that they showed off is Fast Fusion, which is the follow-up to Fast RMX. So these developers, they usually put out a fast, futuristic racing game out on at the same time as a console. They did this for the Wii U with I can't remember what they called that one, but there was that one. There's Fast RMX on Switch. Fast Fusion's coming out for Switch 2. I'm excited for it. I loved Fast RMX, so I'm probably gonna like this. I just hope it's not too expensive. Fast RMX was only $20, so I was happy to go down on that. So if this is like $20 or $30, then I'll probably happily grab it. Although it'll be a little bit tougher to actually make me play this because the launch title for the Switch 2 is also a kart racing game. So I would have 2 racing games, and that's kind of weird. I don't know.
Also, GameCube
Yeah,
F-Zero
and then GameCube
GX.
has F-Zero GX, and then later on there's an announcement for another fucking cartoonish racing game. So like there's a lot of
And
fucking
Sonic.
racing games. And there's Sonic
And
Racing
Sonic.
Crossword. There's too many goddamn racing games this year. Oh my god. More on that later. Shadow Labyrinth is getting a Switch 2 edition, also coming out
Pass.
July 18th, 2025. A lot of this stuff that's being announced is also stuff that we saw in the earlier direct. We got Raito Remastered, The Mystery of the Soulless Army being confirmed for also on
Pass.
Switch 2.
I mean, Smash. Smash.
June 19th, 2025. No Sleep for Kaname Date from AI Somnium Files is also coming out on Switch 2,
Pass.
July 25th, 2025. A game called Reanimal is coming out in 2025.
Pass.
Fortnite is getting a Switch 2 version on launch day, of course.
Quadruple pass.
Arcade Archives 2 Ridge Racer coming out launch day. Another
Smash.
fucking racing game.
Smash.
But it's cool.
Make him play it. Make him play it, Jack. Smash.
More for Cloud to have to play for his kart racer video. Yeah. We got Professor Layton and the New World of Steam still coming out 2025, supposedly.
Smash.
Tamagotchi Plaza Switch 2 Edition will be coming out June 27, 2025.
Pass.
And Human Fall Flat 2 did not get a release date. It was just shown off. So, sure.
Pass.
And then last few announcements, which were all pretty big announcements. The Dusk Bloods, which is an exclusive Switch 2 title from Software coming out next year. It looks like a spiritual successor to Bloodborne. It is PvPvE. So it's very interesting.
Multiplayer.
Yep.
That is just call it multiplayer.
Yeah, it's a multiplayer game.
Pass.
Yeah, it's probably
if
not.
Bloodborne can stay a fucking exclusive to the PlayStation 4, why not this?
I think it's funny that they probably had to go to Nintendo to get this thing to exist.
And Nintendo should have been like, ew, gross.
Yeah.
But whatever.
And then the next big announcement is Masahiro Sakurai's newest game.
Is it
Kirby Air
Smash?
Riders? No, Kirby Air Riders.
Oh,
Kirby
bigger
Air
Smash.
Yeah.
Bigger Smash.
Kirby Air Ride is getting a new game. And yeah, Masahiro Sakurai's directing it. This is the game he's been working on. We knew that he was working on something. It's Kirby Air Ride 2.
Fucking Return of the GameCube, man.
Thank fucking God it's not a Smash game. Honestly, we don't need a new Smash game for at least like another 4 years.
10, 15, 20 years.
Let Sakurai work on other things, people.
I have a feeling though that this was like how he negotiated to make this game. Was like they probably like, oh, okay, but there's gonna be a new Smash game later, right? Like,
and he's like,
it's the blood oath he signed with Nintendo.
He was like, okay,
I don't know about that.
He's like, okay,
I'm gonna make a Kirby game.
Yeah, he's like, okay, but I'm doing Kirby and Kirby Air Ride, yeah. But yeah, like
it looks really good.
Like all of these racing games, and honestly, this one still sticks out more than most of them. So yeah. And then the last major game announcement that they showed off was Donkey Kong Bonanza, coming out July 17th, 2025, is a big open world 3D Donkey Kong game with a nearly fully destructible environment. It is going to be crazy. Look, this game looks
pretty fun.
I'm excited.
Smash. This game looks awesome. And I'm not even the biggest Donkey Kong fan. I never played Donkey Kong 64, and I don't have the most experience with Donkey Kong Country in general, but I'm excited for this game. It's very Mario Odyssey coded, but with a different aspect of gameplay. It's going to be really cool. Yeah, there's also like an aspect where there's like some like nostalgia sections where there's like at parts of like the original Donkey Kong countries that you'll be able to play. But yeah, oh my God, I'm so excited for this game, honestly. This game looks really, really good. How do you guys feel about Donkey Kong Bonanza?
I'm looking forward to it.
I watched a bit of Treehouse live gameplay, and it looks pretty solid. A lot of destructible environment, like a good chunk of the game you can like actually like destroy and use as like objects to break other things. Looks like there's a lot of hidden secrets in it. So for those who really want to dive into it, I think it'll be a ton of fun.
Nice. All right. And then the last thing that they mentioned in the Direct is that the Nintendo Switch 2 is going to be actually releasing in two forms. You can get the system by itself, and there's a bundle with Mario Kart World. So if you want to pay a little bit extra, you can just get Mario Kart World bundled in. Talking about costs, we'll get to that. But before that, we do need to do our mid-podcast house cleaning, where we talk
Oh,
about
thank God I have to poop.
where we talk about all of our social media and other aspects. So like we have a Discord server. You can find the link to that on our just in the description for this video or on our Twitch profile page. It's there. You can just jump on in. We also have obviously this Twitch channel where we streamed this live, twitch.tv/GamingStooges, twitch.com/GamingStooges. We are
Twitch dot yeah
we have
slash
been
gaming stooges.
we've been very active with streams lately. Jack, what are you up to currently?
Well, just the other day, Landon and I streamed Ace Attorney for the first time in a couple weeks because Landon was on vacation. And I'm still going through Backyard Baseball. Not much has changed since the last stream.
Okay. I just recently finished Final Fantasy III Pixel Remaster. It was a lot of fun. I'm really looking forward to getting into Final Fantasy IV Pixel Remaster, but I'm doing a small intermission, and I am going to be playing Mega Man 3, which was voted on by the members of our Patreon. So we're going to be playing through that. I've already played through Mega Man 1 and 2 for the channel over on YouTube. So I'm finally jumping back into Mega Man 3. Going to be using the Mega Man Legacy collection that I have on Steam for that. And speaking of Patreon, we have a Patreon, patreon.com/GamingStooges. Landon talked about it earlier in the podcast. If you are a Silver Stooge tier, you can vote in polls to help us determine the content that we're going to produce. That means streams. That means podcasts, what some of the stuff that we're going to cover. Basically, you get to help decide the direction that some of the stuff that we do for the channel goes. So that's going to be, pretty fun. We also have a gold stooge tier for $6 a month instead of $3, where you'll get extra content. We put out bonus stuff every month. Sometimes we do multiple during a month if we have enough stuff to put out there. This month we did a thing on Clubhouse games. We took like all of our favorite games within Clubhouse games and ranked them. And then we added the points up, and we had like an average basically. And all of the ones with the most points, we ranked those as our collective list. And this is not out yet, but it will be as of the time of this recording and streaming live on Twitch. But it will be out by the time this is on other platforms. So if you're listening to this on Spotify, Amazon Music, YouTube, it'll be out by then. And then we have YouTube. It is basically our dumping ground for all of our Twitch stuff at this point, but it still exists. And it does have high quality audio versions of these podcasts. So if you want to go to youtube.com/GamingStooges, that is also an option. And also for Gold Stooge tiers, just as another mention on Patreon, we do give a special shout out every podcast, and we have Pixel Vixen at the Gold Stooge tier. So thank you again to Pixel Vixen. And yeah, we appreciate everybody's assistance with keeping this podcast up and running, because it does cost money on RSS to actually maintain this. RSS allows us to put this out on all those other platforms, like I said, Spotify, Amazon, Apple, bunch of other stuff. So yeah. So that is pretty much everything. I wish Landon didn't take so long pooping, because we're basically ready to jump back in. But I guess since he's not here yet, Jack, was there any future streaming plans you're thinking about on Twitch?
I was probably going to do a poll. I have yet to think of what I want to put into the poll. I definitely have a plan for the summer for what I want to stream. I know for a fact what I want to get into and what I want to do. Keeping it a secret though. So for my next stream title though, I have not thought that far ahead, honestly. I need to think of a few different games to put into a poll, maybe a few quick ones to see what.
Yeah, see, I already managed to map out my whole year, because I was like, I'm just gonna fucking do the Final Fantasy Pixel remasters. Boom.
Yeah, you picked a franchise and said, I'm going to play all of the games in this franchise. well, up to a certain point, obviously, but
Yeah. I do plan on getting to 7, 10, or 7, 8, 9, and 10 and 10 too as well. So
just down the road,
down
not
the road,
this year.
exactly. They're not like concrete plans yet. Those are also bigger games. So secret, you say, says Pixel. Yeah.
It is a sequel to a game I have played for the channel already.
Okay, interesting. Oh, is it Mega Man X2?
It's not actually.
Damn
I've said
it.
before that I want to Redux X1 before I ever play any of the sequels, and that
True. You should
will
get the Mega
happen
Man
at
X
some
collection.
point.
Do you have Mega Man X Legacy collection?
I do.
Okay.
I have it I don't own it physically, but I have it digitally on my Switch. So
okay, cool.
that is a very doable game franchise.
I still have to get Mega Man Legacy Collection 2 because I only have Mega Man Legacy Collection 1.
Hmm.
And then Mega Man 11. So, like, I don't have Mega Man 7 through 10. I gotta get that at some point. I don't know. I've always been a bigger fan of the classic Mega Man games, but I gotta get into Mega Man X now that they have the Legacy Collection. Capcom, God, Capcom the GOAT. They put out so many fucking collections of so many goddamn franchises, and they're all good. Like,
Yeah,
they did
they're
all those Ace Attorney.
solid compilations.
They did also those Ace Attorney ones, all those Mega Man ones. You can even play the Battle Network series now. So, like, yeah, no, it's Capcom the GOAT. God damn it, Landon. Please. Landon, come back.
He picked a bad time to shit.
He really did. I mean, I know that this was like our mid-roll, but like, damn, I was hoping he'd be
It's kind of a long mid-roll. I guess we can do our what have we been up to lately, since we're waiting on Landon, and just have him do his at the end. What have you been up to lately, Cloud?
I have been mostly playing Pokemon Blue on my Analog Pocket in between work. I've been trying to clean that game up because I'm almost at the end. So I've been like trying to catch a bunch of Pokemon, and I am like just about ready to fight the Elite Four. My team's like right around level 50. And then when I'm done with that, I'm probably gonna jump into a file on red version so that afterwards I can like trade between them and like complete the Pokedex on physical cartridges of Pokemon, since I haven't been able to do that. So
Nice.
how precise do you think the Switch mice are going to be, asks the potato. Good question. I've heard good things about it. I've heard that it's pretty decent. I think it'll probably be okay, but I also imagine that just the shape of it's not going to feel very good for long periods of time. Like,
yeah, I can't imagine it being like an optimal way to control the game.
I mean, I've heard that there are games that like there's quite a few people that used it for Metroid Prime 4 and they thought it was amazing, but as like a longer play session, I can't see it being ideal, but I'm sure it works really great. So that's always nice. I just get a bad feeling since Wii motion controls for precisiveness weren't really that great. True. And I mean, even though the Switch Joy-Con do have gyroscope, that's not like the most precise thing in the world. So the mice are probably going to have some sort of compromise to the quality of how precise they are. Because, I mean, it's Nintendo. They try to get everything working at a satisfactory level, but it's usually never top of the line. So,
yeah, it's the way it goes.
yep. This is a sequel in a series that rhymes with Belda. That is Pixel. That is Pixel's prediction.
It is not.
It'd be rad if you could
But
stick the two Joy-Cons together to make a wider mouse. That would be cool. Although I'm sure there might be a game or two that will try to do something like that. Because you can definitely like split them up and like use them separately, because that's how drag and drive is going to work, where you're going to be able to use both mice at the same time and they like control each wheel or whatever. So yeah. Landon, no, come back. No,
come back, you fucker.
Oh my goodness.
All right, I'm going to talk about what I did.
Yeah, sure, go ahead.
Okay. Nope, never mind, he's back. I'll talk later, I guess. How was your shit?
Oh, it was. I've been needing to take it for the last like 2.5 hours. Fantastic.
We not only did we go over all of our social media stuff, we were waiting for you for so long. I already went over what I've been up to lately, and Jack was going to say
That's
something
fine.
next.
You know what? Because now we can talk about this instead. That's right,
about-
the potato. We
How about
have
this instead?
Tillamook Creamery ice cream, chocolate chip cookie dough ice cream.
Hell yeah, brother.
It's right here. So I'm gonna eat it all.
All right, so let's go ahead and jump right back in. So we went over both of the directs, what the content within those directs was. But because this is a big announcement, we had a new console revealed and a bunch of games for it. There is more information that we found out, namely pricing and also what accessories the Switch 2 have. So the following stuff is all stuff I grabbed from Nintendo's website. And I'm going to get the accessory and console and other pricing out of the way first. So the Switch 2 is $449. Or you can buy the Mario Kart World Bundle for $499. So the console price, I think it's fine. I was expecting $400, but considering it's a little bit more powerful than I was expecting, $450 for the base model sounds just about right for me.
I was expecting 500.
It's not a bad price.
It's not.
Honestly. For the specs, can't complain.
Yeah, I can't complain either, especially because of all the new tech that's in it, like the mouse controls, the game chat, the really high res just tablet screen, and the ability of that dock mode, like everything about it. Yeah, it's solid. For accessories, the Nintendo Switch 2 Pro controller is going to be $79.99. For reference, the original Pro controller is $69, $70. This is fine. I mean, it's got enough extra features that, it's not like outlandish. It is more expensive than most standard level controllers. But I mean, it's not like you buy this once and then you're all set for like the next 5 to 10 years. So, I mean, I think it's fine for what it is.
Mm-hmm.
The left and right Joy-Con 2 controllers are $90 together, but they can be sold separately as they were for the Switch 1. Again, a little expensive for if you're buying these, but you do get two already with the console when you get it. And if you're buying just one other set so that you can have like 4 players, like you buy it once and you're set. So it's not too bad. The battery life on them is the same as the Switch 1 Joy-Cons, and it has more tech in them. So sure.
People can bitch about the price of the Joy-Cons, but something that people don't consider is that Nintendo was literally selling Joy-Cons at a loss on the Switch 1. It was only a matter of time before they got even the slightest price increase. So $90 is not unreasonable, I don't think.
Yeah. The charging grip for the Joy-Con 2 is $35. I mean, it's a charging grip, so most people aren't probably going to need one of these, but it is a little expensive. But I mean, they got to make up their money somewhere. So a charging grip that should probably be like half the price being this price. I mean, it's whatever. It's only going to go for like the people that really want it. So Joy-Con 2 straps can be bought in a set of 2 for $12.99. That's not too bad. I'm pretty sure that the Joy-Con 1 straps were $9.99. So like this is only a couple bucks more. Not that bad. Joy-Con 2, you get a set of 2 wheels, so you can put your Joy-Con in them for like racing games. That's $20 for the set of 2. Not bad. I mean, 1 per $10. That's pretty good. They usually have these accessories for like $10 to $15 most of the time anyway. So yeah, it's about right. The Switch 2 camera is $49.99, connects via USB-C. And this is information we got later. I'm just adding this in, but the camera is 1080p. So honestly, all things considered, that's solid. The Sony PS5 HD camera at an actual retail price is $60. So this is actually cheaper than that. and it pretty much does the same shit. So yeah, not bad. I'm actually
Could be
interested
a
in
lot
getting one of
worse.
these when I have extra money. What was that, Jack?
I said it could be a lot worse.
Yeah. It's pretty standard price for this kind of camera, especially it being USB-C is, a big thing that already would make something more expensive. They do sell Switch 2 docks separately. I'm pretty sure that the Switch 1 docks were $90. These are going to be $110. I mean, most people are not going to need a second dock, but if you need one, I mean, it's whatever, I guess. We got a carrying case and screen protector bundle for $35. That's, I mean, you do get a screen protector with it, so I guess that's not terrible, especially because the screen protector has to cover an 8-inch screen now, as opposed to the older models having like 7-inch or 6-inch display, depending on which model. So sure, the carrying case was fine. There's also an all-in-one carrying case, so it like holds the dock, a Pro controller, your Joy-Cons, some games, and the system altogether. That is $80. I will not be buying one of those, but it's there if you want it. That's all of the pricing for all of the accessories, but there's also two more important things that were on the website that I found. The first one, and we talked about this earlier because it is a big deal. Nintendo Switch 2 game carts. They could be regular physical carts, but they can also be game key carts. And what that is they are a physical cart with no data on the cart. They contain a download key to download the game, and they basically authenticate the downloaded game while inserted into the Nintendo Switch 2. So what they are now, the titles that are on game key carts, they are not tied to any Nintendo account. They are tied to the cart. So the game can be loaned out to a friend, resold, everything that a physical cartridge can do, except they're just a digital game. Now that said, these are supposed to be like a replacement for, like, we know how like when you go to a store and you're buying like physical games and they have all the games in the case, and there's these games that don't have a physical release, like an actual or they don't have a physical cart in the box. It literally just says in a big banner, full game download. This is meant to be a replacement for those. But we know that publishers be publishing. So we're probably going to see a lot of games that could be on carts, but they're going to be game key carts instead. And Square Enix is a son of a bitch. Capcom is also doing this with Street Fighter 6. And so we're going to be seeing a lot of games that are on these game key carts. They will identify on the bottom where the Landon mentioned on the Switch 2 editions of games. They have like this like extra like disclaimer in that same spot on the bottom. You'll see whether or not it's a game key cart, if it's a game key cart. So yeah, it was, I mean, I get the idea of game key carts, but I definitely see this as like a way for publishers to just be like, let's not actually make a real physical release. So
Don't need that.
yeah. But I mean, at least now, if like you have games that would normally be full downloads, like I think Mortal Kombat 11 was, for instance, was a full download on the Switch 1. I mean, now you can literally resell the game when you're done, or you can give it to somebody else and they can have it, and you don't have to worry about the game being locked to your account and just never being able to do anything with it. So on paper, it's better than what we had before, but it's probably going to be more utilized than the full download code games. So we're going to be seeing this a lot more, and I'm sure a lot of people are going to get sick of it. So we'll see. Yeah,
Potato says that's kind of worrying for whenever they end up ending servers and the like, right?
Yes, because they are still digital games. So if you don't have it downloaded to the system at the time that servers go down, it is a brick that does nothing. So yeah, it's That is the downside, is it is still a digital game. It has all the trappings of a digital game outside of this ability to do stuff that normally would be physical, but it does still have that problem with it. So yeah, game key carts, they're a thing. We'll see how those pan out in the future. And then the last thing that was on the website, so the Nintendo Switch 2, as we know, it's supposed to be backwards compatible with most Nintendo Switch games, but it is not actually true backwards compatibility. Like, it's not like the Wii literally had a GameCube in it, or the 3DS literally has a DS hardware chip in it. It's emulating the game. So Nintendo has 2 PDFs on their website that you can look at, and there's like lists of games that do not have full compatibility. Like, there's some issues. There's a lot of investigations going on right now for all of these games that they're having problems with. For the most part, a lot of those are partner games. Pretty much all the Nintendo games that they can get working on Switch 2 are working on Switch 2. But there's like 15,000 partner games on Switch 1 that have to be looked at. So there's some level of compatibility that they have to look into and make sure that those work. But you can look that up on the website. Most of them work, but a lot of them, they can do updates though to make sure that it does work. So hopefully everybody that has a game that has some problems updates the game so that it can work on Switch 2. So long
If
as Balatro
Balatro doesn't work on the Switch 2, then the Switch 2 is automatically a failed system. There is no point for the system.
Speaking of which, I did not see it. It is not anywhere on either list of having compatibility issues, so it should be fully compatible, yes.
Thank God that the Labo 4 is officially dead.
Yeah, so Labo 1 through 3 work fine as long as you're using the Switch 1 peripherals with it, since you can use all peripherals on Switch 1 mostly, but Labo 4 is not, so that's very interesting.
Only because the VR cardboard cutout does not
It's
fit
not
the
big
Switch
enough.
2.
Exactly.
And that's the only reason why it's not compatible.
And they literally say that word for word, almost basically. Like, they're just like, the Switch 2 does not fit in the Labo VR, so therefore it cannot be played. I was like, okay.
Go fuck yourself.
Fucked up.
I mean, yeah. And then the last thing I want to go over, this was not through Nintendo's website. This was thanks to GameStop. GameStop has listings for a bunch of Switch 2 stuff, including physical copies of games that they'll be selling.
Or physical copies of games.
Or quote unquote physical copies of games. So this is like the big controversy of the Switch 2, we're gonna say. But we'll talk about it after I've listed everything off. So Mario Kart World physical is $79.99. That was not a mistake. Yes, $79.99. Donkey Kong Bonanza is $69.99. Bravely Default Flying Fury HD Remaster is $39.99 for Game Key Cart. It is not a true physical release. Street Fighter 6 Year 1 and 2 Fighters Edition is $59.99 for Game Key Cart. The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild Switch 2 Edition is $69.99, and the Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom Switch 2 Edition is $79.99. Landon mentioned earlier, yes, they are $10 more than the Switch 1 versions. Super Mario Party Jamboree Switch 2 Edition plus Jamboree TV is $79.99. And Kirby and the Forgotten Land Switch 2 Edition and Star-Crossed World is $79.99. So, yes, there are games for Switch 2 that are $79.99. And that means that we are going to be seeing $80 games as the top end for Switch 2. Some of these can be justified, and some of these are a lot harder to justify. Let's get out of the way the ones that we had explained earlier are very easy to justify. Kirby and the Forgotten Land Switch 2 Edition, Star-Crossed World, is literally a Kirby game that was full price on Switch, and it is getting an expansion of DLC. So now keep in mind, these Switch 2 Edition games, you don't have to buy the full new game if you have the Switch 1 game. You can just buy the upgrade which usually will just cost the difference between the Switch 1 copy and the Switch 2 edition. So for Kirby and the Forgotten Land, it will be $20 for the upgrade if you already have Forgotten Land to get the Star-Crossed World and Switch 2 edition upgrade. But if you have to buy it separately, it's $80, which, I mean, at that point, you're buying a full game plus DLC. Okay, sure. Super Mario Party Jamboree Switch 2 Edition plus Jamboree TV. Again, same thing. Full-on DLC expansion, adds a bunch of new content, plus having performance upgrades and everything. An extra $20 for that? Sure. Okay. Why are Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom $10 more?
Great
Google
question.
Maps. You have Google Maps now?
Yeah, but you need a phone to do that.
Yeah, but I can buy a phone for like $200, so whatever.
It's so weird that like the extra $10 is for just the performance boost, which by the way, a lot of games are going to be getting free updates to get performance boost. I didn't mention this I didn't add these in because it's kind of like a minor note, but there are a lot of games that will just be getting patches where you put in the Switch 2. If you have the performance patch, you just get a little performance boost. And that's it. That's what I would have expected Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom to get. But on top of you having to pay $10 extra for that, like Landon said, all you are getting is Google Maps. And you have to go into an app that is not even Google to use it.
So what happens when that app stops working? What's the point of this?
It's
Now,
thankfully, if you are a Switch online expansion pass member, the Zelda upgrades are free, but they should have been free anyway, in my opinion. And then DK Bonanza being $70, I mean, that's fine. I mean, we probably should have expected that this generation, they were going to bump the games up to $70. $80 is a little tough.
I will say, in the defense of Mario Kart World, we have not seen the full extent of what is available.
True. We do not have the direct that is coming up for it for all the information that we could possibly get. We don't know if they have more content that they just haven't revealed yet. We don't know if there's going to be free DLC or not. We don't know. So we can't fully judge it. But to be fair, if you're buying this game separately, it is $80. So if you're one
also,
of those... Go ahead.
I would like to ask the question to the court, if it may please. Mario Kart 8 Deluxe on release was $60, correct?
Yes.
Booster Pass course, $25. Which means, in order to get the full experience for Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, was $85. Is that justifiable for what the content that was given?
I think for Mario Kart 8 Deluxe it was, but to be fair, that was also 96 courses.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. If Mario Kart World has an amount of content that is equivalent, doesn't have to be the same number of tracks.
True.
Just like an equivalent amount of content, whether it be like characters, courses, carts, modes. Like if they brought back a mission mode.
Yep. We don't know all the details. So it is a tough sell, but it is a sell that could possibly justify itself. Unfortunately,
we'll see.
We don't have all the context. Now, to be fair, as mentioned before, if you get the bundle, that has the Switch and Mario Kart World, you are saving $30. So if you are not a physical or die kind of person and you're willing to get it digital, you could feasibly save $30, and that's a pretty damn good deal, honestly. Mario Kart World for $50 more is honestly a steal. Like I would say that's a really good deal. But yeah, hopefully we see enough of Mario Kart World where we can say, okay, this is worth it.
I'm not going to go out and start screaming at the top of my lungs. This is just blatant corporate greed. and Nintendo is tone deaf until I see the content. And when I see the content, then I will make the decision to complain like the rest of the sheeple. Until then, I'll just sit there and go, okay.
Yeah.
It looks fun though.
Yeah, it does.
The game
look
looks fun.
So we actually managed to blow through this a lot faster, so I do want to get just go around real quick and ask overall thoughts on everything from the Switch game announcements to the Switch 2 and everything that was shown off there to the, just everything. Anything you want to talk about real quick. Jack? He's like a deer caught in headlights.
I wasn't prepared for this.
You weren't prepared for this? I mean, I can jump in and throw some stuff out there. So, I think overall there's a lot to take in. There's so much. We weren't expecting a bunch of Switch 1 announcements, so we have to soak that all in first as well. But there's a lot of great games coming out to both Switch 1 and Switch 2. I think that the Switch 2 from a hardware standpoint, you got to put aside the pricing for the games for a second. The Switch 2 is doing literally everything I asked for. It is much more powerful. The games on it look fantastic. It hopefully, we don't know about Joy-Con drift, if that's going to be a thing, but it hopefully remedies every major complaint we had, like the Joy-Cons being too small and uncomfortable, and this problem, that problem. They've basically fixed every issue and made the system just so much better. And I'm looking forward to getting it just on that alone. Even if I just get it and I only get some games and I don't get as much as I did on Switch 1, having the performance boosts of Switch 1 games is really cool. Just everything about the system, I'm excited for it. We didn't even talk about it because it was something that they showed off later, but the eShop is cleaner. There's a way to filter out all the nonsense. They have a way to recommend games to you directly based on what you're already playing, like the 3DS did. So it's going to try to keep you engaged in a way that you want to be on the eShop. So,
but there's no music, so fuck it.
There's still no music, unfortunately. The only major thing that we haven't seen them fix that we want them to fix is themes and actual folders. There's groups, but it's kind of cumbersome. So that's the only thing. That's the only thing. They fixed everything else, and they made everything else better.
A little UI would go a long way.
Yeah.
For the fucking Switch 2 compared to the Switch 1.
So I'm just really excited for the system just based on that. The games that they showed off are all really great for the most part. There's definitely some that I want. So yeah, I mean, I'm going to try and save up and I'm going to try and get the system and the games that I can afford for it at the times I want to get them. But the Switch 2 is exactly what I was hoping it was going to be on paper. So yeah.
You want me to go now?
Yeah. You have stuff to share? You have some thoughts to share?
I am looking forward to it. I hope that the price does not get worse. As it stands, the price for the system is fine. Some of the games are pretty pricey, but I'm also really excited for those games. And I don't know, man, if you adjust for inflation, spending $7 or $60 on a game in 2017 is like spending 77 or $78 on a game today. So it's fucking, I don't know, dude.
It is,
I like what they showed off.
It is still a little steep considering we just had a price jump 5 years ago.
Yeah.
The last time we had a price jump before that was 15 years ago. So it is a little bit accelerating. I think that's what the sticker shock really is just it's kind of coming fast, but
yeah, I overall am looking forward to it. There's a lot of games that I'm looking forward to. I'm definitely going to pre-order it. I want to fucking play that Mario Kart, and Donkey Kong comes out like a month later, so I'm going to be all over it.
To reply to
Um,
chat, hopefully the system won't have the availability issues, the stock issues that the Switch 1 had. But it is a Nintendo console, and they historically do have problems with stock when they underestimate how much people want it. So we'll see.
I mean,
yep.
hopefully there isn't port strikes. That was
That,
a factor that was going in during the release window of the Switch 1.
yeah,
Is
true.
a lot of ports were under strike. So
True. And we did just have port strikes not too long ago, like last year. So like
yeah, so maybe
could
we'll
happen again.
find this time.
Yeah.
We'll see.
We'll see.
Yeah. Any thoughts on anything else like accessories you're thinking of getting for it? How you feel about game key carts, Switch 2 editions?
Game key carts exist to replace the fucking download code inbox. It's not ideal, but
It's not even like replacing just that. It's also replacing the game that had a little bit of game on it, but like it was mostly a download.
That's
Like
true
yeah.
too. Yeah.
there's a large number of Switch games that were like you can buy the physical cart, but it has like a third of the game.
Yeah.
Please also download 64 gigabytes of data.
That's a good point I didn't bring up because, like, realistically, every publisher that had those kind of releases is just going to do a GameKeep cart.
Yeah, which is why it's going to be a lot of third party like publishers that are just going to be like ruining this shit. It's
Yeah.
already bad enough, but now I wish it was either you make a physical release or you don't. Just
Yep.
it's either everything is on the cart. I can understand. I'm realistic. I can understand. Updates happen. We're in the world where updates happen. That's fine.
And that's kind of, that can be considered a good thing because, like, before you couldn't fix a game if there was problems with it that need to be fixed.
Yeah. But now you can ship a broken game and make it better. That's the trade-off, unfortunately.
Mm-hmm. Unfortunately.
But also
yes.
you can just ship a good game and then add content to it as well. So there's, there's degrees to it. But like it should just be like either just put it all on a fucking cart or just fuck off. Like don't bother.
I will say I feel like this was like one of the things that inspired game key carts was all of the like, you know, old mom or like grandma that would like buy their kid a game that was just the download code, and then like they're like, there was no game in here when I bought it.
Oh god, I hate those people.
Like there's definitely a substantial enough amount of people that probably had this happen. And then as someone who works in retail, you'd have to explain to them there wasn't a physical game in here. There's supposed to be a voucher. You like, that's why just like
I'm so glad I don't have to deal with any of this because I can easily see people being like, I put in my game key cart and there was nothing. Did you connect to the internet? I don't have the internet. Because we still live in a world where not everyone has access to the internet.
yeah. Thankfully, I had a customer who like he would say this before looking at any games. He'd be like, "Do you have to connect to the internet for that one?" Like he wouldn't buy it first. He would ask first, and I'd be like, "Yeah." But good point in the chat though. Multiplayer communication stuff did seem like, so the thing about that is that for game chat, which I am excited for. I'm really excited for it actually. They prioritize your gameplay first. So they will make sure that the game is running smooth and that your connection to online, if you're doing that to play the game, continues to be smooth. And then it also prioritizes the voice audio of the people that you're in the call with. And then it's going to adjust the quality of the video feeds if there are any, based on how well the Switch 2 can handle it and your connection. So if your connection's really good and you only have like a couple people playing in the group chat with you, it'll run better. If there's like a ton of people in the group chat, because you can have up to 12 people, it's gonna make the gameplay for everybody else kind of jittery looking. And I get it because it's a Switch 2. It's not It's not a high-end gaming PC. It's not a PS5 Pro. It's not that powerful. So it has to account for that. And I think that the compromise is fine. I'm kind of glad that they showed that kind of stuff off in the direct, because it's like, if they showed it off just buttery smooth and perfectly fine, and then the reality is that's just not what the Switch 2 is capable of, do you know how many people would be pissed?
Yeah, people will be way more pissed being lied to than
Exactly.
being told the truth in this case. Like,
I'd rather be told a mediocre truth than a really promising lie. So
yeah, so it's fine. I do have a question for you
Yes.
guys. Before any of the announcements, did you have even a remote idea of a budget for what you would be willing to spend? Not just on the console, just in general.
Like, say, launch day, everything you needed to get together for whatever games and the system and everything.
Yeah.
Total probably like $600.
I was thinking like 600-ish. I was considering I was going to get
Wow.
the system, one big game, probably one smaller game. I wasn't going to invest in an SD card right away because 256 gigabytes on system is fine. I don't need an SD card right away. And I wasn't going to get any accessories right away because I was going to probably just be fine with the Joy-Cons for a while. So yeah, that was my budget. I was thinking 600.
Wow. Poor bastards.
Why? What are you getting on launch?
No, I was just thinking like I was going to go for like $1,000 straight up.
Jeez.
Like,
what are you considering getting at launch?
well, no. This is literally like what I was going to pre-budget for before we knew anything about the console price or anything. Is because I figured the console was $500. You know, you get like one or two games. Those are 60 a pop. So, you know, there's another 120 games there. So that would have been the whole budget completely there. And I like having carrying cases because I actually take my Switch places.
Fair.
I need a tempered glass screen protector because absolutely fuck not. I do want a complete package carrying case because I actually like having those for either storage or like actually taking it somewhere. I actually have one for my Switch 1. And then, you know, the Pro controller too.
So you're pretty much just going all in on getting everything.
I'm not dumb. I have 2 children. I absolutely need like some sort of like insurance protection plan for this fucking shit. And Nintendo's limited one is not going to cover what a child can do to a system.
That's true.
Let's be fucking real.
That's absolutely true. Like with these sort of systems, like you gotta count.
And a lot of retailers will sometimes will cover a lot more than what the manufacturer's limited warranty will do, and sometimes they'll do it for even longer, which is absolutely what I need. So like I was like going in and I'm like, I'm going to be spending $900 to $1,000 on this fucking system. And after looking at all the pricing and everything, if all I do is get the system, Mario Kart, the cases and shit, I'm going to be spending about $1,000, and the only game I'm getting is Mario Kart. Now, to be fair, I want all 4 of the fucking Zelda amiibo because I have a problem.
You're staring your soul into the screen like, please help me. God, I need help.
I have a problem. But so like I was just wondering what you guys were thinking.
Yeah, I was budgeting for about that much.
I have a mortgage.
I mean, I know everyone has their own like financial situation, and I'm a little privileged in some areas. I recently, within the last year, got a way better job than what I had before. I don't have a mortgage. I don't currently have car payments, so like I'm sitting pretty good as far as like, you know, what's going on. But I was still like, all right. Like as soon as they started even like talking about the Switch 2, I was like, okay, regardless of what it actually like the system itself costs, it's probably going to be about $1,000 out of pocket
Yeah.
for the setup I'm going to want day one, and not have to go back to the store like a week, a month and a half later.
Yeah.
Like,
So I was one of those people where like I did not think I could save that much all at once. So like I was like, all right, I'm gonna get the things that I want right away, and all the stuff that I do not need whatsoever, I will get later. That was my thought process going in. So
anything that specifically disappointed outside of price. I think the only other thing that really disappointed is the number of games that are going to get game key carts for me.
yeah.
That's absolutely like the
So
biggest bummer.
yeah, I think the thing that disappointed me the most wasn't even like a concrete thing. It was the way they the way that they went about um announcing like all of those extra things, because as was evidenced by how I structured this podcast, all the prices and the game key cart stuff, they didn't talk about it at all in the direct. So like
Yeah.
we didn't have accurate information, and there was a fucking frenzy. So like there was like a point early on where like it wasn't clear, like, are game key carts a thing for a ton of games or just some games or just a few games, or is it, is this thing happening or is that thing, like, it was a frenzy. And it was honestly just just really tough to try to like piece everything together. But like outside of the game prices, as far as like concrete things, no, nothing really.
Yeah. I mean, it's like we said, the system itself is exactly what we could have asked for. The library that they've been showing off for this launch period is pretty solid. I mean, Mario Kart, Donkey Kong, Metroid Prime, Kirby,
Even
GameCube,
even
Nintendo
objectively,
Switch Online.
even objectively, like, just take your own, like, what are your personal preferences out of the picture. Like, this is an extremely strong lineup for a launch year for a system.
Yeah.
As like third parties are here and they have a bunch of their big games being brought over. Like, it's insane. Like, the
Yeah.
Switch 2 is ready.
There's obviously always more one can ask for, but like it's what series do you think will be the real system seller? So Mario Kart is going to be obviously the early adopter. Like,
Easily.
that's, I feel like, what
Mario
most
Kart 8
people are going to want.
Mario Kart 8 Deluxe sold almost 70 million units. Like, let's be real. The Mario Kart 1 is going to sell that system.
It's going to.
It doesn't matter that it's an $80 game. There'll probably be a hit on how much it will sell comparatively, but it's going to sell the system.
Yeah, it's going to be the biggest system driver. Obviously, I feel like we will get a new Zelda at some point that will see a pretty good boost. And then whatever next main like line exclusive Pokemon game, it's going to be the usual stuff. Like, we'll get like a Super Mario, we'll get a Smash maybe.
Yeah. I don't know when we're going to get a 3D Mario, because like we don't know if Donkey Kong Bonanza is being made by we don't know who it's being made by. Just flat out. They didn't say. They didn't want to reveal like who is making this game. So like we don't know if it's
been very typical too.
Yeah. We don't know if it's the 3D Mario team. We don't know if it's a totally different team. So we could be getting a 3D Mario game later down the line. It could be sooner if they aren't the ones making DK Bonanza. So that will be a system seller when that comes around. Animal Crossing, when we get a new Animal Crossing game.
Yep.
That's going to be huge now that Animal Crossing New Horizons has brought a ton of people into the series. So like, think of Nintendo's biggest franchises. That's a system seller for somebody.
Pikmin 5, let's go, baby. Come on, baby. Let's go, Mets.
Let's go,
Love
Mets.
the Mets.
Love the Mets. Jack, you hanging in there? You okay?
Yeah, I'm fine.
So yeah, that's everything on the Switch 2 Direct. I already talked about what I've been up to, so let's just skip to Jack and Landon, what they've been up to, and we'll close out.
Let's see. In the past couple weeks, Bethany and I finished rewatching through the Harry Potter films, and overall, those are pretty fun. A good deal of them were worse than I remember, but that's because I was a kid when most of them came out, and that's just the way that it is. But I did have fun overall. Let's see. Last week, well, more like a week and a half ago, me and Bethany and two of our friends went to on the 29th, we went to Columbus to go see Deftones, and that was sick. The day after, we drove up to Detroit to go see Cannibal Corpse and Carcass, and that was also sick. And pretty much outside of that, work has been just preparing for Record Store Day coming up.
Oh, yeah, that's right. I forgot. That's a thing that you have to do every year.
It is, and it is our biggest sale day of the year, and it exhausts me because I have to wake up for an 8 a.m. shift like a normal person.
I never got to ask you this, but how does it feel knowing that day falls not too far from your birthday?
It almost wasn't my birthday one year. It was like, I think, a day or two off.
Wow.
Gross.
It's usually the third Saturday in April. It's the second Saturday this year because Easter. They try to not have it coincide with Easter weekend. But yeah, that is coming up this coming weekend, and that's pretty much what I've been doing lately.
All right.
I just can't believe he went to those shows and did not want to record Patreon video content with us, Cloud.
We still managed
What?
to do it earlier than we were expecting, so like it's no big deal.
We still did it.
I know. It was mostly like...
And we did it earlier than we originally thought it was going to happen, so we're cool.
Mhm.
I just remember when we were like trying to find dates and
Yeah.
Jack was just absolutely not having it.
I also went up to Detroit to visit some friends this past weekend, and also to go see Anxious on Monday.
And you have a shirt that you're wearing.
I did.
Assuming
I did. Yes, it is. Great band. Everyone should listen to Anxious. But when we were planning the potential recording for the Patreon video, we were trying to figure out like what day would work, and we floated the idea of like either this past Sunday or the Sunday before that, and I'm like, I'm out of town on both Sundays. I can't do either of them. And
originally Landon was going to be gone on his vacation longer than we thought. So like we were like, oh, we can't do it any of these days. But then Landon was like, actually, I'm going to be here. I'm going to be home this day.
I'm coming back Wednesday, so we can do it Friday. And then we ended up doing it Friday.
You can thank Kari's father for that. He decided he had to get gout. So
damn.
You've got gall. You've got gout.
He's fine. But she had to take him to a hospital trip on the Thursday, so we couldn't stay till Friday like we wanted to. Anyway, great segue into I went to the coast.
Yeah. How was it?
It was pretty fun. We were only there a couple days, but we went to Rockaway Beach, and which is like 20 minutes from the homeland, Tillamook.
The homeland.
Yeah. It's God's land.
Yeah. You live right near that place too. That's really cool that you can just just go there.
It's like an hour and a half away. So it's like it's a bit of a drive, but like I can make it a day. Like it's like a day trip to go out to Tillamook, and like we did like a little bit of like hiking with the girls. There's like a wildlife refuge that's not too far from Tillamook, so we made it like a whole day. We drove to the wildlife refuge. There's a lighthouse on that wildlife refuge, actually the shortest one on the Oregon coast, Cape Maratus, I think it is, something like that. So we did a little bit of walking, and then we went to Tillamook Creamery. Oh, it's not here. I have a new mug that I will start drinking out of soon, Tillamook themed. and you guys have something that will be in the mail eventually when I can mail something. So look forward to that. I got you something from the motherland.
From motherland.
And the other big thing, the spare seconds, the mere seconds I get when I'm not making content with these motherfuckers and not raising my 2 children or working, the mere seconds left in my day, I have been playing Penny's Big Breakaway, and I'm almost done with it. The game's a lot of fun. Like the momentum system, like the movement system and everything. It's so fun to
it feels just so good when you like master how to like do the jumps and
chain and everything. Yeah. So go to the wheel and then like, yeah. And then like I still suck at it, so it's fine. Like I'm not even like getting close to like the suggested goals of points.
Yeah, no, me neither.
Yeah, but I'm just having a lot of fun like playing through the levels and going through it. I'm in world 10 right now, so I think I'm almost done. I think
pretty much
world
right
11 is the last one. So like once that's done, there's a couple games that I'm looking to start up. But yeah, I've been really enjoying that. Been playing a little bit of Balatro. I stopped playing the Tears of the Kingdom because we had the announcement that it's going to have performance upgrade. So,
I mean, we do have a Nintendo Switch Online plus Expansion Pass family membership. So, for us, it is free.
Free in large quotes asterisks.
In large quotes asterisks, exactly.
Someone spends $80 a year on that.
Yes.
I'm not going to say who, but Landon does.
we do give you money. Sometimes Jack has to be pestered several times for it, but
not just Jack, other people too.
Everybody else.
Mostly the other people. You two are like the best two at getting it to me when I remember to ask.
Yeah.
Anyway, and then other than that, just like watching a lot of shit because it's the easiest thing to do when bottle feeding 2 children at the same time.
Have they said if there's any ways to transfer saves for games from Switch 1? So it's going to work the same way that transferring between Switches does. So you'll be able to just send it locally if they're near each other. And for the games that have cloud saves, you can use your cloud save data if you want. And for the games like Pokemon and Animal Crossing, where it's tied to your account, it will transfer with your account when it moves over. So
Animal Crossing is actually not tied to your account. It is tied to the system.
That's what I meant. Yeah, it's tied to the system itself.
Yeah, the island. But yes, that will transfer.
It's not something you can store on cloud storage, so you have to have the system with you in order to send it over.
But also, Animal Crossing, the island itself is unique to that system. So that's the other but it should transfer fine. There's been some reports about that transferring as well. So you don't have to worry about that.
Yeah. So, I mean, just obviously the same precautions you should take if you were switching between one Switch and another. For if you have any of those games where you can't use cloud storage, keep your system on hand. Do not take the bait from GameStop to send your system in to get a pre-order reservation discount. Don't do it. Just hold on to your Switch. Get the new Switch and then switch everything over. I said switch a lot.
You did.
We've been switching it up a lot tonight.
Hey, what's the name of the new Nintendo system?
The Nintendo Switch 2.
Oh, thank you.
I don't know.
But anyway. That's going to do it for this episode. Landon's going to have a lot of editing to do with this podcast. But thank you everybody for tuning in. Roll the outro. We will catch you next time.
Hey, Jack, have you watched High and Low yet?
No, not yet.
Oh, you should go watch that after this.
I definitely will. It's on the list.
Anyway, bye.
Bye.